Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another live stream here. This is Franco with Trading Futures Live, and today we have a lot of exciting news. Let's get rid of this thing here. How are you guys doing? Yes, CPI came. CPI came out. Let's get rid of this thing. Let's put it right here. All right. There we go. Okay, I wanna see what is going on in the markets. Unfortunately, I couldn't be here for the release on the news, but I think we can have a pretty nice session today. The markets are moving big time. And then we have the dollar. Look at the dollar. But first, let's review what happened with CPI. So here with CPI, we did have some, the core CPI was the worst, right? The core CPI came a lot higher than expected. I think the expectations that we had for this report was extremely high. We had too high of expectations here. I don't think the report is terrible per se. If you guys see, we had the core CPI is awful, right? It's too high. But here on the CPI, the year over year, I don't think we had a terrible report. We were expecting too much, right? But we have had lower inflation, like it's bending down a little bit, right? Last month was 8.5. Now we have 8.3. But analysts were predicting like a lot better conditions. But I don't think the report is a disaster per se, but the expectations that analysts had were too much, right? And the market obviously was pricing in what analysts were, predicting, and they just got it all wrong, right? Rents went up, even though energy like gasoline and crude oil and all that was coming down. I do have this report here. I'm gonna make a video today to and going along these numbers. It's not complicated. It's pretty straightforward. All right, but I want to point out the dollar. Oh my God, look at the dollar. The dollar came to the demand at 107.74. If we go down in time frame, so this is right before the report. Remember, we did have this yesterday, but we couldn't get here. We went up, and then today during London, we came back here at 7 a.m. and then look at that thing. This is a beauty. It's oh my God, it couldn't be better, right? And if you go to the daily, it's not complicated. Like here we did have that area, and this bullish candle created that day, came back today, and then boom, buyers were there. That's how my theory of that prices is taken to key levels right before news is very founded. It's founded into this thing. I see it all over again. Like I repeat it, right? All right, so the dollar is going up now. It's overstretched. It's already gone too far. So, and I do have these supplies here. This one was already tested. This one is completely fresh. This was a demand area that we had before, and then now it turned into supply. Now price stopped right there. I want to be careful with the dollar. If it starts to turn around, I won't be shorting this thing. Now, Nasdaq ran almost 4%, like 420 points or more. We were at 960, so we ran 500 points, right? So I want to be careful to where I'm going to short today, because we could have some squeeze, right? So I want to be very, very cautious today. I don't want to just trade this thing. I want the dollar to come back down here, at least here, at least to this one, and then a continuation if it's going to continue today. But it's very likely that this zone is going to put some pressure into selling. Now, I'm not a huge fan of these movements, right? Because remember, in these movements, there are not much on the downside, right? If we go down to the 5-minute, we might have something here, right? 107. Let me put a line right here, right there, right? Or below this, below 108.88, I'll be skeptical, right? So it's good. We have these two pivots. Is bullish. So when the dollar comes back to this level is when we can look for a short in the equity market. Is 8 minutes to the bell, so we have a little bit of time here. I'm not gonna do a complete pre-market analysis with, but I want to point out the bond yields. Bond yields are skyrocketing. Markets do not like high bond yields. I said this thing, if this thing breaks to the upside, we will have some pain in the markets and in the economy, right? So now this bond yield is gonna hurt big time several industries, and starting with real estate. Real estate suffers when this thing goes up, right? So that's the case. That's not good, right? And you see it in the market. It's down almost 3%. All right, let's go to the VIX. All right, we had this supply that is being broken right now. If we go down to the 30-minute, yesterday, around like 2 in the afternoon, we hit this, started to come down, but actually never like broke any pivot from yesterday, and we broke to the upside. So I do think the VIX has room till 26, 25 3/4, and if we end up having a -3%, 4% day today, which is realistically talking possible, I think the VIX can go up to like 26. I think we can get 26.50 or even more. If you go to the daily, we never tested this demand again. So I know there is some supply here, and this coincides with the equity market low. But you can stretch zones for so long, right? After many touches, the zones or the areas where people buy just get weaker and weaker, right? My theory and my trading all is based on certain amount of orders in one area, right? When those orders are gone, price goes through. And it's the case of the VIX. Here, it has a lot of trading days here, but this coincides with the lows from the market. But the lows from the market were tested 120 twice. Now, if we drop to like around 300 today, that will be a third test, right? I don't think it's like after the second test, I think the zones start to weaken, right? We have 5 more minutes till the market opens. We came here. Let's go to the NQ. And after, I want to check on the crude oil chart, right? So we did have this demand right here. I've said numerous times how the breakout and retest is the one that is a setup that I prefer in my trading. That just the one, basically everything is based on a retest. And then we had this demand that was putting pressure here beginning of August, and by the 23rd, buyers tried to take price up, and then we came back, and now we're dropping very, very aggressively from here. I don't think this is a coincidence. I think price was just driven here, expecting for the report. Now, you and me, we don't have those statistics, right? But a hedge fund, they can hire pollsters, they can hire companies that do their research for their own, right? So they do have that data in advance. I don't think that's like prime information. It's prime information for you and me, but not for big money. They do have budget to know those numbers in advance, days before, right? So so this is the level. This gap that you guys notice here is because of the rollover, so don't pay attention to this gap. Oh, this was the 8th, right? So the 8th was Thursday. Yeah, so this gap is the 8th. So this is the rollover. Don't pay attention to this gap. That's why I have my continuous chart in the Trade Station and Ninja Trader, right? All right, so we got that. ATR extension lines were broken already, so we don't. We already passed the ATR extension line, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's put the trading screen. All right, so this is a trading screen. And for me, I'm gonna put here, let me set up my accounts. So I do have my personal account. The Apex is already on. Group account settings. All right, let's set up here the personal account. I don't know why it comes back to the same account. And today, instead of this thing just replicating twice, I'm gonna put just copy the master. I don't wanna like up my position size. I just wanna be conservative today. Today is the day when you have a limited risk, but you can play with the risk and reward ratio. Today is when you can stretch your trades. Go for 5, 6, 7, 8 to 1, right? We do have volatility, and we have to expect that the zones probably will need some breathing room, and I give them some buffer. Today I will probably do 4, 5 points. That's how volatile the market is. I do have this area right here. So we're off. We are off. So let's pay attention to this thing. Let's pull up the tick chart. All right, obviously tick chart on the negative side. ADQD extremely negative, 2600. tick chart very negative as well, minus 900. So let's wait for the tick chart to give us some sort of information. Let's put here the dollar chart that I want to monitor at all times. Remember, I do want to trade this thing short. Obviously, my bias today is short, but I understand that the market already moved 3%, right? And I do have to have a realistic expectation. So I don't want the market, I'm not expecting the market to move 7%, right? Is that realistic? It's possible, but it's not realistic, right? So I want to be realistic about that. What if I short right there at the lows? I could get burned very easily, right? So let's wait for the setup to show up. After the setup shows up, then we execute. If we make money, fine. If it doesn't work, we just move on and we wait for the next trade. Right here, smart risk $207. Let's put $180 is fine. It's less than 1%. Let's put $200. There you go. $200 is around 1%. This is some short covering right now, most likely. Wow, NQ was 1% up pre CPI. So we had a swing of almost 4%. And the dollar is almost plus 1%. If you guys see, this area is massive. It's 50 points. Now I want to point out that the tick chart did not get to the zero line in this move up. Did not get to the zero line and started to come down. Now, ADQD has very little room to keep going down. It's at 2600 almost. So it's hard for it to keep going down. The max I've seen it is like 2700. Minus 2700. Yeah, the Dow is minus 600 points, 620 points negative. Yes. I do trade the NQ though. The NQ is the weakest one right now to trade, and I've said a lot of times about the bond yields, and that's why NQ is dropping 3%, and YM and the ES is around 2%. That's the reason of the Nasdaq being dropping so much. All right, so we did have this area. I wasn't aggressive enough. I might just engage here. I need to understand that the probability for it to work is a lot less than a retracement trade, right? So the dollar is still pushing higher. I don't think we will have any sort of retracement on the dollar. We might have some sort of liquidation type of day, so we need to be aware of that. All right, let's see if we can. How much is this? All right, I will take this confirmation on this 7-minute. Let's see. Let's change my screen here to 500. There we go. This is the overnight low. Short is too aggressive, but I want to take a confirmation. I want to say around here, overnight low. There you go. And until 200, I don't have anything till 200 when I aim for it, 5 to 1. I don't have a real demand up to this red line. The red line is what represents my demand. You need to understand that trading here is extremely risky, but we missed this retracement. We need to see what's going on here. If this is gonna respect the overnight low, and then we'll trade it confirmation. I will not take a trade limit order, especially the location right here is very, very bad. All right, so tick chart is creating a new high, so this will be no for me. If it touches the zero line, I will activate the order, but not for now. I don't want to get caught in this thing when it's retracing back up, sorry. So we broke the overnight low. Buyers are showing up. All right. There you go. So that's the trade right there. Let's see if we can get it.
Order filled.
Yeah, we're gonna be stopped out of this thing. It's a pretty risky trade, guys. It is a pretty risky trade, though. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. We took a bad trade. I took a bad trade. I need to understand that. That's why I like to wait for the retracement. Such a bad trade that we took. It is what it is. Sometimes your psychology is just not there. I will not take a long right here, even though the location is obviously very good, but I will have to wait for it to retrace. Tick chart took the zero line. Tick chart took the zero line and is retracing back down. Let's wait for the setup, guys. Let's wait for the setup. We did not respect the overnight low. That's a pretty it's a pretty bullish move right there. And I did not have activated this yeah, here's the thing. You have so much space. Like the ADQD, how much farther can go? We got stepped out from this. I lost $200 in that trade, so it's not much. I can, there you go. Yeah, the buffer was not enough. The buffer was not enough. That was my mistake. The volatility today is insane. New 15-minute candle. Trading has been such a learning experience for me. It's like you have days like today where you take a crappy trade, but you need to step aside and relax and try to find another opportunity. I think we will have volatility the entire day, so there's no rush for me. I'm not even paying attention to the amount of dollars that I lost. I took a trade that was very risky and I was stopped out. So here was my trade. I got stopped out here, 46. I said, well, the buffer would have been 7 points. That's a lot. That's a lot. But it is what it is, guys. We need to learn how to deal with ourselves when we lose, not when we win. All right, so I do have this. Let's see if we can take this again. I think this can be a nice area, right? Hmm. 7 minute is creating a bullish pattern right there. Some sort of reversal. 3 minute as well, creating a bullish pattern. So I want to wait for the short. For those watching me, I just took a short and lost. Volatility was insanely high and I had a stop loss. I got triggered right there, but it's fine. We need to just wait for the right setup and we'll make that money back in no time. All right, the dollar is finally retracing back down. See if we can get it to this level so we can take a safe short. I'm gonna put an alert right there. Add an alert. Open-ended, yeah, crossing. There we go. Create it. Nice. So we don't need to pay attention to that till we get there. Regarding this trade, I do think the right area is 500. Although we're very, very weak. Price is kind of like choppy, right? There's probably a big buyer right there just absorbing all the set orders from retailers. All right, finally the ADQD is retracing to the upside. It created a low and is it's been retracing slowly. Still extremely negative. Still extremely negative, but quite a choppy. This is not very volatile though. Which is not a bad thing. We can plan ahead slowly. So 2 more minutes for the 3-minute close and 1 minute for the 7-minute. So we got stopped out from here, from the short, right? Our stop was too tight, and we're waiting for another opportunity. It's quite choppy though. New 30 minutes, so 10 a.m. We might have a retracement right here. It's too much to ask for it to get to 500. Dollar hasn't gotten to the demand yet, and it hasn't gone up either, so we might have a very, very bearish here day. Yeah, but today I do know. And so you control your losses with your position sizes, Rich. I made a mistake there. I was too early, and my stop wasn't in the right position. Like, that's the way it works. Now I'm -1, and I don't want to. I skipped this setup because I was just paying attention to the loss that I had. But it is what it is. That's how tough this is when you're trading, especially when you're trading online with people like you guys. It's even tougher because sometimes I hesitate, right? I did have this setup that I'm showing and I did not take it, but it is what it is. I made mistakes and I need to live with it. I will continue to make mistakes. It's very choppy. It's going down, but very, very slowly. I want to give it some times to see if it pulls back. If it pulls back, then I'll take a trade. It's quite frustrating, but I need to. If you want to be a trader, you need to learn how to live with this. Sometimes are going to be good days, sometimes are going to be bad days. I think we have opportunity today because the market is moving. And I don't have a serious demand till 200, so it's 170 points below. 200 is quite of my high quality demand. So I want to see the low here in the tick chart is 1003, and the low here is 1003. So this coincides with the low on the 7-minute and on the 3-minute. So I'm not worried about a trend change as of yet. We could have retracement, but I don't see any trend change as of yet. So I have 408, 408. Let's see if we can take this 408. I'm not gonna take a limit. Not gonna take any limit order until it goes to 500. It's not very close. It's 120 points away, but in a retracement we can get there. So 500, I will start watching these limit orders, but below there, we'll do just confirmation. And I understand I need the price to go inside the zone and base, right, for me to take it. And that implies that I could miss the trade, and I need to live with it. If I want to have some sort of confirmation entry, I need to have a process, right? If not, I just put limit order and I take the risk right away. Instead, I want, because of the location is off. The location is awful. Market already moved 3%. In the direction that I want to trade, right? So the more the market moves, the less the probability and the risk and reward ratio that we have. I don't think the market is going to recover. It doesn't show up right now, that in the internals. That's why I want to keep trying the short. Now, the short down here is very risky. That's why I do it confirmation, but one more minute for the 7-minute. Dollar is not retracing. Dollar is back in the supply that we had. So I'm waiting for the 08 1 quarter to see if I can get filled there. If not, I will just let pass this thing and took 5 minutes, take 5 to 10 minutes just to rest and to reassess. I know the market is moving, but I want to, instead of pay attention to the market, I want to pay attention to myself, right? I don't want to take bad trades. I want to take trades that are probable. So I rather paying attention to myself instead of paying attention to what the market is doing. The market is gonna pay me if I take good trades. If I take bad trades, I'm just gonna donate money to the market, right? So now tick chart is breaking to the upside a little bit, not much in reality. ADQD did not create a new low. So ideally, I want this thing to continue to go up, get into my zone, and tick chart just not go up, right? So new 15-minute candle. How did it close? It was kind of like a bullish 15-minute. See if we can get above in this one. Yeah, no, sellers are very active though. Like, I'm gonna put my main screen. Came close, came 03. Let's see. Then 16, 17 in the morning, like 45 minutes into the market session, into the trading session, and we have barely moved 40 points to the downside. So I know, yes, the market is moving for 3.5% to the downside, but in reality, after we opened, we're just 40 points below from the open, right? If you guys see, this is the overnight. 27.76 is 50 points, somewhere around that neighborhood, right? I think 200 today is realistic. I don't have any like high quality demand between where it is at and 200. I do have other demands, but they're not high quality. Like, let's go to the 7-minute here and see. I do have this pivot, but this is 2 in the afternoon. But the demand for me is 200, 203. So we need to wait for this level to be exhausted, that all the orders are gone. If we have a retracement and then we come back down, we might violate it, right? So for now, buyers are right there, are active. I don't think is ideally the best level. For me, the best level is around 200. When I say best level, is the geometry of the zone and what time was the volume, etc. So we touched the area, the 08 1/4. I said I need this thing to go inside the zone, It might take 10 minutes to complete the 15-minute candle, and then there's no way for me to take a limit order down there. I might miss a trade, yes, but there's no way I'm gonna take a limit order. The location is so bad. Location is awful. After we move 3%. Yeah, and sellers are active right there. So this is a even better setup. If I get like 20 reads, but the tick chart hasn't give me a higher reading, then that's even higher probability for me. Yeah, I mean, if you think realistically, if you didn't take the trade pre-market, the market hasn't moved yet. It has moved like 50 points. In a 50-point range for this volatility is very, very, very low. Very, very small move, right? So we were short. I took a trade here. Look where my trade was. This was my entry, right? Right now is around 50 points from my entry, but I got stopped out. I got stopped out right here. So I chose an area that was aligned with this pivot, but the one that worked was this one, right? At the open. And I just understand. I mean, I can understand this. Like, it is what it is, right? As well, I was not able to spot this area, but it's fine. Like, yeah, we had a loser and we're missing out a little bit, but there are days of days. Like, if you're a trader, you need to understand this. Sometimes you're not in your optimal state of mind, or technically you just make mistakes, and those mistakes may cost money. And it's costing me $200. Not only $200, it's costing me like $1,000 because I was trading around the right neighborhood, right? But it is what it is. A bad trader just would put a short right there where it is at after it moved, right? And you can have different strategies, breakout and whatnot, but I don't think the breakout setup is there in any of the assets. There's no breakout setup right there. And if you have it, please be kind to share it so I can learn from you. So tick chart did not make a new low. Let me see this. It actually broke the low on the tick chart, but didn't break here on the NQ chart. So it's kind of like sideways right there. I'm gonna take 5 minutes off. Not because of the market. The market is moving. I just want to get some sun, reassessed, and come back freshly renewed to take a good trade. So I'm gonna take my picture out of this way. All right, there we go. Here, I'll come back in 5 minutes, guys. All right, I am back. I'm sorry for the feedback. All right. Since I left, it hasn't moved though. Yeah, this thing is pretty choppy. For those just coming into the live stream, I took a short and was stopped out. My stop was too tight, but still on winning territory as of now. My entry was not bad, but my stop was too tight considering today's volatility. I think 200 is a possibility today. We are 150 points away. I have 205 where my real demand is. It's not unrealistic though. You could think that the market will be 4.5% down. Well, we might have that today. We had a CPI report. I don't think the report was a complete disaster. I think that Wall Street expectations were a complete disaster. I mean, obviously the inflation is running too hot, but Wall Street magically thought that we could get a way over better report. It's insane. That's why we're dropping so much, because we were pricing in a complete different bias. And now CME group probabilities for the rate hike, 0.75% is almost guaranteed, 84% probability, and The 1% is 16%. So 75 basis point is almost guaranteed for next week, September 21st. VIX is back up to 26, like we said. Before the market open, we were watching these charts, and I want to go see the dollar. Ooh, the dollar is still going higher. It hasn't retraced. It has not retraced back down, and it doesn't look like it's going to. If you figure this, we're going down, but very slowly. We're not going down in a panic mode. We're going down in a very systematic way. Slowly. So I did have this 08 one quarter, but I need a price to come here, and then I will take the short. It just barely touched the zone. It is what it is. I was not I didn't want to take a limit order being so low price after the price moved 3%. So I said everything I'm taking here is confirmation. As a matter of fact, the first trade that I took was a confirmation trade. There we go. We'll have a lot of time just to take a trade, right? We need to just wait for the right setup. Let's wait for the right setup, and let's take a trade. I took a trade for those just joining. I took a trade right here. Let me show it up. This was my trade. I was stopped out. This was my entry. Got stopped out right here. And the thing is moving in the right direction, right? Two mistakes that I can see here. Number one, this is the overnight, right? So I was trying to be so precise with the overnight that I was not willing to give it some breathing room. And I set a pre-market. I need to give it probably 5 points of breathing room. Now the breathing room that I needed was 46 to 54, 9 points. I was not willing to do that. Not because I thought that is too much, it's because this is not the right area to short from. It was this one, the 46 level, right? It's okay. I did have the 08 right here. Where is it? The 08 right here. It came to 10 3/4 and it started to go down. Now I'm just patiently waiting. I need to confess that I'm feeling FOMO fear of missing out. But I am a human, so as a human, you are gonna experience emotions, right? I took 5 minutes off, like 20 minutes ago. I needed to just reassess, absorb what happened. Such an quote unquote easy day to trade, and you're losing money. But I don't think there is an easy day to trade. There's no easy day to trade. When the market is just going up without pullback, I don't have a way to jump in. When it's sideways, you can get screwed too. So I don't think there is such a thing like an easy trading day. It's just a trading day, right? So either you're in a good state to trade, or you are in a bad state to trade. So I don't care what the market does. I care what I'm doing, right? Of course I care what the market, right? I care where to enter, where to exit, but the more important is just to take care of myself, take care of my reactions. How do I react in front of losing trades? I think that's a big challenge in trading. How do you react to losing trades? I ask you that question to you guys. How do you do when you lose a trade? You just go back in? Snake. Yeah, it all depends on your maturity as a trader. But someday you're gonna be so much pain of doing that shit that you're gonna stop doing it. That was for me. I did everything. You can tell any like bad behavior of a trader. I've done it in the past, right? And I might still do it one day. Like, I am a human, right? And I'm learning. I've been consistently profitable for the last year, but I could have a bad day. Those bad days are because my psychology is not there. It's not because the market screwed me. I could lose any trading day. Like today, I'm losing $200. But if I really get crazy, I could blow my account, right? So what's the point of that? I think for me was that I had an underlying issue, an underlying issues more than one, and is that I was more like wired for immediate gratifications and looking for thrills in the market. And I felt a little bit that today in the morning when the news came out and the shit moved like 2-3%. I was like thrilled. I started feeling like, damn, it's gonna be a good day, right? Guess what? I'm losing. And me doing the YouTube is an immense effort of just keeping the shit grounded, like in reality, real, right? Not thinking like things are not realistic. I think 200 is not unrealistic. That's where my real demand is. This thing keeps dropping for 408, where I had my zone. Let's go to the internals. Wow. Pretty negative on the ADQD. Tick chart still pretty negative. So this was 18. What time was this? 34. 34 right here. 18. Might be no more trades today for me. If we don't get a retracement, yeah, I'm not gonna jump into this shit. And this is an attitude that you need to have. Like, I'm not gonna let them just take my money. I'm gonna take the setup that I'm waiting for, right? It's moving and I feel bad for it because it's moving without me. But there's nothing else I can do. There's nothing else I can do. It's already gone. If I were to just jump in, I could lose money, and a lot of money, because what's going to be my stop? 20 points? 50 points? Even 50 points. I don't think it's enough. I think it's not real. I mean, this thing can just bounce from anywhere. And I think today, trading day, is going to dictate what is going to happen the rest of the week. We haven't, well, the low of the previous week is far down, like 400 points, 320 points. What about the month? Yeah, the month was very bullish. It was a very bullish move. Now it's flat.
Many top realtors can own.
All right. Take chart back to the positive territory. See if we can have a nice higher reading. So tick chart went to positive territory. Now it's at the zero line, but it is bouncing back up, right? So I need to, when it hovers around the zero line, I've noticed that the thing just changes, right? So if this thing does not break to the downside, that means that the tick chart might continue to go up right there, and we can have a larger pullback like it is doing it right now, right? So when it starts to hover around the zero line, it's probably a further continuation on the recent change, meaning from negative to positive, right? And it's very bearish, though. The market is incredibly bearish. So new hour, new 30-minute candle. See what this thing does. Oh my god, this thing is gonna take forever. I might not take more trades today. For those just watching, those just that joined the live stream, I took a short. Was a losing trade. Was stopped out for. It was not a little bit. It was like 10 points, but my zone was not the right one, and then it went into profit. I did have this other area at 08, which did not take because of the location, so I needed for it to come up here, and it did not come. So I just missed this trade, and I'm just sitting on the sidelines waiting to see if I get another opportunity, like a real opportunity, not a just jumping opportunity. I could just jump in and make money, but in the long run, tomorrow, next week, next month is gonna cost me more. So I've learned that the hard way. I might make money today, but I would not make money tomorrow if I do that, right? So what's the point? We're here for the long haul. What is it? Oh, there you go. I want to go check on the VIX, because the VIX is, because the market is dropping, but the volatility is not high. Wow, the gap on Apple is insane. Volatility is at supply 26 right now. It came to 26.20. If we have a down week, meaning tomorrow we drop and Friday we drop, we might get to 30. Let me transfer this so you can guys watch what I'm watching. Yeah, the dollar is not going down. Yeah. Never mind. I had the 5-minute here alert when this thing was coming down, so I could try to short the markets right here. Would have been pretty nicely. A pretty nice setup, but never came. It could retrace back down probably tomorrow or Friday. We'll see. Bond yields steady It's been sideways since market open, so market is trying to absorb this 3.45. This is not good for the markets, guys. This 3.5% on the 10-year. It's not bueno. While the market retraces, we can go here and check the CPI. So consumer price index for all urban consumers rose 0.1% in August on a seasonality adjusted basis after being unchanged in July. Increases in shelter, food, and medical care indexes were the largest of many contributors to the broad-based monthly all items increased. These increases were mostly offset by 10.6% decline in the gasoline index. Yeah, gas was down. The food index continued to rise, increasing 0.8% over the month as the food at home index rose 0.7%. The energy index fell 5%. Yeah, crude oil have dropped, but it hasn't created that influence on the index, right? Because food was up. The all item index increased 8.3% for the 12 months ending August. And it came down from 8.5% in July. Energy index increased 23.8% for the 12-month ending August, a smaller increase than the 32.9%. Yeah, but still, and we haven't gotten to winter yet. I don't think we're gonna be very much affected as Europe will be. On the energy price, like gas for heaters and stuff. I want to point out shelters, because shelter, I think, was one of the high impactful things. Like shelter was 6.2, transportation services on 11.3. Wow, like airlines and stuff. Fuel oil is still 68.8% on a 12-month basis. That's not a small thing, guys. Wow. Even though it's coming down, but not very much. Gas, yeah, minus 10%, and energy and commodities, yes. There you go. That's our CPI. This is a 10 and 2-year spread. This is the daily chart. It's now on minus 0.3%. It's been inverted since July. We inverted here a little bit in March, but then we went deeper. Like this thing has predicted the last 8 recessions, right? This is the inflation from the 70s. This is the dot-com bubble. This is the housing, the great recession here, the 08, the housing crash, and now we're here again. So this is a very interesting chart. And we are inverted like big time, like in 2000s with the dot-com bubble. I'm not an expert on macroeconomics, but I do feel a passion for it, so I do follow it. I have read a lot of books about it. So I don't think what it's coming is good, guys. Like, well, this inversion curve is showing it. And we will start feeling the pain. It usually shows up in the economy when this thing is coming out of the inversion, right? So here in the 07 when the market started to crash big time, in housing foreclosures and stuff were starting. On the dot-com bubble, I don't remember here. I need to check that chart and this one too. So lumbers are up this week, 16%. Lumber, sorry, this month is up 16%. Just today is less than 1%, but yesterday was 10%. So lumber correlates big time with housing prices, or precedes housing prices. Let's correct about that. Precedes housing prices. Lumber is a big component of houses and construction and whatnot. So it leads the prices in houses. It had crashed from 1355 to the low is 400, so like 65%. Now it's retracing back up. We are in like pre-pandemic levels. We were in pre-pandemic levels last week. Well, we haven't broken to the downside, so this thing is holding right here. Pretty amazing chart though. Crude oil is coming out of our demand at 82. Now it's at 87. We were up to close to 90. I said 90 to 50 is a good point to expect a reversal. But we'll see. Probably the Fed will act faster and will kill this thing down. I know OPEC. I am originally from Venezuela. So Venezuela is part of the OPEC cartel. And I know they're cutting production. So there might be that they have some expectations that the crude oil is gonna fall in price. So they want to protect their prices. So the market continues to drop. Well, it's just retracing a little bit. The low today is 272.50. 272.50. So let's transition here and put this chart, the 500. All right, so this is my main chart. All right, let's review the internals again. No new high on the tick chart. Not a new low either. The low of the day was created here. What time was this? 44. 1044. Wow. This might be setting up for a reversal. So even though the market is going down, tick chart is not. And this is a good setup that I do have. The reversal. So here 44 is the, where is it? Right here. That is a low here on the tick chart. Interesting. We might be close to the bottom though. I do have 200. Is 70 points. Is 70 points away. I do have 200, so it's 70 points away. Let's see if we can have 200. Like, I wouldn't take a long on such a market today, but if this thing starts to create some sort of reversal patterns, there might be a long opportunity, not for a trend change overall, but a tradable reaction, probably 2, 3 to 1, right? So we need to understand that we don't need the market to go to the moon to take a long trade. Just need a retracement. ADQD is so oversold. It's 27.23. It's I don't think I've seen it like probably like minus 28 the max. So this high is 92. So the market is making new lows, but the tick chart is not. That makes me believe that we might have some sort of reversal at any time. I've said 200 is the key level for me. I know it's far, so, well, 70 points, but yeah, tick chart is not making new highs either. Finally, the tick chart is breaking to the upside. There is a point where the market gets oversold and buyers just step in. There are not enough sellers to just keep dropping the price, right? I haven't seen a panic selling, panic type of selling today. It's just slowly grinding down. All right, I think it's time for me to wrap up this live. I'll be here tomorrow for the pre-market. I have no setup. I don't think I'm gonna take any setup. In the afternoon, if I have a nice retracement to the upside, I might think about the short, depending on the internals. But for now, it's just nothing. No problem, Snake. See you tomorrow. I'll be here for 8:45 for the pre-market. All right. Later, guys.